He said, by the power of Grayskull.
Hello, this is just a quick review for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I'm not a Call of Duty fan. It's first-person shooters. I mean, they're good, but I can't just play them all the time. I've played a lot of first-person shooters, especially on like older generation computers, like Medal of Honor and stuff like that. So I've basically got them out my system. So I'm like bored of them now. The only reason I'm playing this is because it's free this month to download, July 23. So it's like I'm only playing it because it's free. But I do like to play the campaign rather than play multiplayer. I think multiplayer is just boring. It's just a way for people to troll you and just it's like, I mean, I refer everything to Grand Theft, but it's like just doing a deathmatch on Grand Theft. You're all on the same map, and you're just trying to see who can get the most kills. I mean, where's the fun in that? Yes, maybe one or two matches, but just to sit and play for hours and hours, match after match, and try and rank up by just killing people, it's just boring. I don't see the attraction. So I only want to play the story-based missions where you've actually got an objective and you're doing cutscenes and stuff like this, where it's actually fun to play. I mean, that's what the game is. That's the whole point, isn't it? You buy a game to play what the developers have made, like the story and everything. They've spent ages, in fact years, putting the story together and everything. So it's just one of those personal preference things. If you don't like doing story mode and you only play this game just simply to just sit on multiplayer maps and shoot each other, I mean, that's up to you, isn't it? But for me personally, I think it couldn't be more boring. But this game is set in the 1980s, where Reagan is president, and it's called the Cold War because you're fighting against Russia, and it's like an arms race for nuclear weapons and stuff. But I mean, you create your character, sort of. You can change your name, and depending on what you pick in your classified document, your background and stuff determines the kind of perks that you get. So that's quite cool. But you're just given the nickname Bell. So it doesn't matter what your name is. Everybody in the game's just going to refer to you as Bell. So maybe if you chose the second name with like Bell in it, so a nickname is Bell, it'll it fits better. But I've only played the first two missions because it was quite a big file. I didn't have enough space on my hard drive, so I've had to delete some stuff off, so I'm still waiting for those to download. But I like these set piece type missions where you're actually given an objective and you've got things to do and you need to actually do what they're telling you in order to progress. So I do like it in that respect. But like I said, generally the Call of Duty community, it's boring as fuck. I just can't be arsed with it. But I do like the graphics and I do like the way the sound, and it's got a great soundtrack. It's got some really good music on it. And stuff like this. I mean, I'm playing on a PS4, just a normal one. It's not like a pro or anything, and the graphics are sufficient for me. I mean, they're nice and smooth. You've got lots of textures and stuff, so the graphics aren't shit, but they're not like groundbreaking. But it's definitely good enough to play. And I suppose if you're just looking for a game where you can just play through the story like I am, it's perfect, especially if it's free this month. But I mean, Call of Duty's got a massive following, and there's loads of games out. But this one came out, I think, 2020, and with it being free, it's definitely worth downloading. But I do like the way the levels are playing out so far. You're obviously a part of a crack team, specialist team that you get given objectives. You're trying to catch some terrorist called Perseus. I think he's undercover spy, Russian spy that's on American soil. So you're trying to, capture him. So you go back to the HQ, like the safe house, and then you pick off the mission board, and you can look for evidence, like evidence that you find in the mission, or that you don't find. But to say if you find some evidence in the mission, that'll help you with the next mission. And you can always replay your missions as well if you get some evidence later on that might help you complete like an objective in a previous mission that you've already completed. You can always go back and redo the missions, which is good. I mean, it's not something I can be bothered to do, but it's good that you've got the option. And the buttons are just basically, the same. You've got, basic L2 and R2 to aim and shoot. L1 I think is to use your equipment, and R1 is to like chuck your grenades. Square is reload, X is jump, circles to crouch or go prone, triangles to change your weapon. So it's basically, the buttons are all the same. Basically, you do get special abilities, I think, and you use your directional buttons to do that. But I mean, I've got all the damage and everything. Like the damage hit points and stuff like that, I've got it all turned off because I hate that. I hate even having the names of the people, constantly there whenever you say how it says Adler when you hover over him. I hate having that on, but I couldn't turn it off. So, and plus, until I realised who's on my team, I just wanted to have some sort of, some sort of notification so I didn't get mixed up with, because you do get into some pretty heavy firefights, and the AI is relatively competent. They don't just stand there. I mean, they do move from cover to cover and they're quite accurate. I think it just depends on how hard the difficulty setting is. If you've got, I think mine's just on normal. I think it's just one up from novice, because like I said, I haven't played many first person shooters in like recent years, so I'm a bit rusty. So I did want to set the bar too high, but obviously you can change it anytime you want. So I think this is the very first mission that you're watching here, so you get to try it out, and if you find it's too hard, then you can always bring it down, or if you think it's too easy, you can always put the difficulty up. But like I said, I'm sure that there's going to be lots of really good missions on it where you're using all the different type of military equipment, plus all the music and the fashion and the weapons and everything's all from that time. So it's set in the 80s, so you do get some some retro stuff, which is good because that's what it's all about, keeping it authentic. But like I said, I'm not really a big fan of Call of Duty series. This is the best part of Call of Duty, just the story modes. That's the game to me. Playing multiplayer is just bollocks. I know I keep going on about that, but it's like amazing how many people just think the multiplayer is the best thing since sliced bread, and I just don't see the attraction. I mean, I'm sure there's a million people out there who love it, and they're really good at it, but if you watch other people's videos on YouTube, you can get a grips of what it's like. There's a zombie mode as well, I've just remembered, but again, I'm not bothered about that. But if you like the look of it, and you fancy a first person shooter that you've never played before, go through the campaign, and it's free to download, so you may as well. So that's it really. Yeah, see you there.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.